A 0-day event is it's been in existence since 2010. It's a way for us to look at how we deal with fear. Would we get to the truth? And in fact, truth is a huge subject in this. What is truth in a post-truth world? If we can't agree on what is fact and what is opinion, how do we have a real conversation? People don't make great decisions when they're terrified.
I moved to New York City when I was a teenager to work with Robert De Niro. When I went to his office to meet for the first time, he came in and he gave me a hug and he kissed me on the cheek and he said, "Thank you." He opened his heart in a way that I never imagined and was kind and loving. And whatever fears I may have had of working with Robert De Niro completely go away. And I realized that he was, a fellow storyteller.
We're just so grateful for both of you for sharing your time with us. We're just such big fans of your work, and we've been so completely consumed by 0 Day. So it's great that we get to finally talk about it.
Yay, we're thrilled to talk to you.
Let me ask a quick question. Where are you?
We're in Toronto, Canada.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay, great.
The TO.
Yo, you got it. You got it. Lesli, well, we'll start with you right away. The world of 0 Day, it feels so a little too close to home sometimes of what's happening in the real world today. So we just love to know for you, what excited you most about joining this series?
I have to say I was sent the script and I read it immediately and couldn't stop turning the pages. I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. So I knew after reading it, I have to tell this story. This is one that's really important. And I have to say, I'm attracted to the genre of thriller because I think it's a great engine to hang all sorts of wonderful, complex, compelling characters, often flawed characters. And this because it does deal with realistically real issues. I mean, a 0-day event is it's been in existence since 2010. I, of course, read every single book about it because the minute I'm jumping in, got to do all that research. But it's never happened the way we have it happen in our show. It's usually one industry at a time that's taken down. It's a cyber weapon. And we posit that, all industries go down at the same time. And it's a way for us to look at how we deal with fear, because people don't make great decisions when they're terrified. So would we behave better than we did after 9/11? Would we get to the truth? And in fact, truth is a huge subject in this. What is truth in a post-truth world? If we can't agree on what is fact and what is opinion, how do we have a real conversation with opposing views? So these are all the things, that excited me about the story, the plot. But of course, look at the complicated, wonderful cast and characters in this that take us through the story.
Yeah, and I think it's fascinating to see the work of like the sides, even just from coming from like the Canadian perspective of all the different sides of the bipartisanship of like, where they're coming together to work and find out exactly what's happening. So it was so fascinating to see in the series as well.
Well, that was the idea, that we don't present a particular political party, that we're able to talk about bigger issues than that. And of course, I think ultimately it comes down to what is each character, each person's relationship to right and wrong, to truth. How do you approach that? And those are really rich, juicy questions to be asking.
And Matthew, you have been a part of our favorite films. There's a list that we could go through, but we don't want to take up all the time.
Right.
Okay, take up all the time.
He'd be happy
we'll
to
start
hear.
with Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Now, when you're looking for that next role, you're looking for the soul of your character. What do you look for in that to bring that character to life?
I'm 65 years old now, and so I've lived through a lot of speakers of the House. The first one I can sort of be conscious of that I remember was Tip O'Neill, who was kind of a good one, and there were a lot of guys that were sort of, while they may have been a Republican or a Democrat, they were bipartisan. They reached across the aisle to do what was best for the country. That kind of speaker is kind of disappeared from the equation. But yeah, you take all of those things like a witch, a hair of the rat, you put all those things in, you stir it around and then drink it, and you create the character that, and it also helps that there's a tremendously well-written script to guide you through it. So and then Lesli Linka, who did all of the research and the political research and all the research of studying other films about this subject. And as she just mentioned, reading about Zero Day and stuff like that. I think that the story's incredibly prescient, that it feels very relative. I think that as we go deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole of artificial intelligence and algorithms, that a zero-day event isn't just plausible, it's inevitable that something like this will occur. And hopefully that will spark a conversation so that we can prepare for something like this, and hopefully through discussion, through intelligent and reasonable conversation, reaching across political aisles, be able to prevent something like this from happening. More importantly, I'm curious if any Canadian comedians have started making jokes about you guys being the 51st state.
Oh, we've seen some. We've seen some.
Is it funny yet? It's not. Is it funny? Is it too soon?
No, I mean, I think
we're laughing.
We're laughing. You have to, right? Like, what else is there to do right now? And I think there's a big hockey game, Canada versus the U.S. happening this week, so that should be interesting to see.
Wow.
Of all the timing of it's great.
Settled, I believe.
Yeah, that's where they're settling everything.
Yeah, well, I have to say, I read an article, and I'm trying to remember where, that Denmark was trying to buy California.
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
So, go figure.
Yeah.
What interesting times that we're living in right now.
Absolutely. Oh, yes. It is crazy.
I'm trying to buy Tijuana.
Good luck with that.
It's a good one.
We'll go in on with you, so we'll have a little spot of the island ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, we're just sitting here telling stories, and we love to tell stories. So
definitely, and you had this amazing opportunity to work with the legendary Robert De Niro. For both of you, what was that experience like? Getting to direct him and also work alongside him.
It was extraordinary. And I have to say, in the beginning, I was a little intimidated. He's an icon, he's a legend. But I have to say, once we jumped into the work, it was all about the work. And he is a wonderful partner. I loved working with him. He is thoughtful. He is prepared. He is a leader on set, and he's kind. And has a great sense of humor. This was a very intense show and an intense shoot, and you have to be able to laugh. And so there was a lot of joking around on set in between takes. And I think that really speaks to the group of people we assembled in this team sport, both as actors and as crew.
For me, I moved to New York City when I was a teenager to work with Robert De Niro, to go to school where Robert De Niro went to school. So for me, it was a great closing of the loop. When I went to his office to meet for the first time to do, to read through the script, he came in and he gave me a hug and he kissed me on the cheek and he said, "Thank you." And I was so humbled by that Robert De Niro said thank you to me for agreeing to participate in this story. He opened his heart in a way that I never imagined, and was kind and loving, and had a kind of empathy that made whatever fears I may have had of working with Robert De Niro completely go away. And I realized that he was, a fellow storyteller who is just incredibly talented and has had one of the best careers of anybody in the motion picture business.
Well, I think that's everything that you want to hear about someone like that. And, Matthew, just really quickly for yourself, we just want to let you know, we saw Oppenheimer in theaters like 7 times, and 6 of those 7 times were in IMAX. And anytime you were on the screen, we were stirred, to go to your character. You were absolutely incredible in that. And we're just so happy that we got to talk to you. And we're also, next week, we're talking to Millie Bobby Brown, and to see what you guys did with Stranger Things over the last decade was amazing. So we're just so grateful. And Leslie, obviously, you're iconic. So just thank you both so much for everything.
Thank you for having us on.
Thank you so much. Thanks for watching the show, and great to talk to you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Go Canada.
Yeah.